Hello. We're now going to take a look at the third talk in our series on God's design for relationships. Our first talk was about choosing God's love or pursuing plugs. Then we looked at the 4 stations of God's design. Station 1, where we fill up with God's love and truth. Station 2, where we find our identity in Christ. Station 3, where we have that we space, which is the marital workshop. And then the overflow of all of that preparation into Station 4, where we have a kingdom purpose of telling others about God's love and showing it to them. This talk, talk number 3, is going to be about a specific thing that happens in Station 2. And that Station 2 I space. As God's love is filling up that space, it often runs into resistance. And that resistance has to do with parts of me that I don't want God's love to see, or I'm not ready to have God's love change. And I call that space inside of us our inner room. So somewhere in our Station 2 I space, we have this inner room. Let's take a look at some of the things that happen in the inner room. And let me first describe it as a place where we keep everything that we most dislike about ourselves. The things that we regret doing or saying, the things that we wish we could take back or do over, the things that maybe have been done to us that have caused tremendous pain. Everything that we most dislike about our lives, what we're guilty of, feeling guilty about, ashamed of, those are the things that we store in this inner room. And it's like they don't just sit in there. These things start getting activated with different triggers. And sometimes there's this big screen replaying the hurts that we go over and sort of beat ourselves up about. Or we have this feedback loop of messages about our shortcomings. If people knew the real you, if people knew what you did, if people knew what was in your heart. And there's these messages that are designed to tear us down and to keep us feeling defeated are all part of that inner room. You can say, why would I ever go to a place like that? And my best answer is, even though I may not want to, I still go there because in its own way, it's familiar. It's familiar because I've been there enough that I know what I can do there to escape any demands or pressures. And while I'm in my inner room, you really can't expect much of me. And it's just, as you can see, it really is best described as a place of lies. All the lies that I have, and we know who the father of lies is. So what do we do with this place? Well, first of all, let's get a good handle on what it looks like in a little more detail. And so I'm going to start with what sends us to this place. And I'm listing a number of things, starting with painful memories from my past. We all carry wounds. We all carry things that happened in our past. And certain things trigger those memories. And pretty soon, before we realize it, we're deep into that memory and we're feeling all the things that we felt when that event or that situation took place. Another thing that sends me to this inner room is not being appreciated or treated the way I think I should be. Not being appreciated is hard. And it can take me a while to get over that, but I'm going to my inner room while I'm feeling unappreciated. Rejection. To be rejected by someone I really want to like me or want to think well of me. What a difficult thing. Criticism. Criticism that is not designed in any way to be of value, but it's meant to shame or produce guilt. Sometimes if I'm having trouble in my relationships, frustration in these relationships can send me to my inner room. And then comparisons to others who seem to have everything going for them. And this is so hard on social media, Facebook or TikTok or any other platform that shows people enjoying life. The comparisons are brutal. Why can't I have that idyllic vacation or that incredible partner, or that we're taking that picture together on the beach at sunset? And I just ache, and I find that before long, as I look at that picture, I'm deep in my inner room, wondering when I'm going to have that special moment with someone special. And so you can see that there are a lot of things that can send us there. We'll call them maybe triggers, or things that activate some part of our inner room. You kind of think of it as a pout sometimes, relationally. I know I grew up seeing a lot of pouting going on in my home. My father, he was a pouter. If things didn't go his way, he pouted. And I vowed that I'm never going to do that. If God blesses me and gives me a wife, I will never do that. And that lasted about 2 weeks, and I found myself driving away deep in my inner room, and I had this sort of angel devil kind of thing going on where I can't believe you're pouting. You said you'd never do that. You know, she's not treating you well. She's just not loving you the way you deserve to be loved. Well, wait a minute, you need to work that out. And the people around our little townhouse in Northern Virginia probably thought I was having car trouble because I would go, hit the brakes, I was lurching around our complex until I finally, by God's grace, came back. And my beautiful wife met me at the door. And remember, this is just a few weeks into marriage, and she said, not what I expected her to say. I expected her to say, I'm so glad you came back. And she said, nah, we're not doing this. And we decided early on that we're not going to play the pout and chase game. One person pouts, the other person chases. Couples play it. It's so manipulative. And all I can say for you couples, or if you're in a relationship where there's pout and chase, where someone goes to the inner room and goes in deep, don't chase them. Don't chase them in. Instead, tell them, I can see you're in your inner room. I'm sorry that you're there. When you're ready to come out and talk about whatever is troubling you, I'll be here, ready to talk to you about it and talk to you respectfully about it, and we'll work it out. But I'm not okay with you going to your inner room, shutting down, walking away, leaving, pouting. The inner room is just not our friend. It does so much damage. And it's also so manipulative, because I'm basically saying you didn't treat me the way I wanted you to treat me, and therefore you're going to pay a price, and I'll make you promise you'll never treat me like that way again. How terrible is that? So we want to stay away from this place.